And 2 days away from the NBA trade deadline, the NBA trade chaos is getting absolutely crazy as James Harden and the Clippers are reportedly working together on the trade, with the Cleveland Cavaliers making serious trade calls on James Harden, but also looking to make a big swing. And oh, by the way, the drama gets even thicker as reportedly Donovan Mitchell is likely to ask and try to get his way out of Cleveland if they suffer another early playoff exit this year. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball related. I'm the host here, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And late last night, it came out from Shams that the Los Angeles Clippers and James Harden are working together on a possible trade. The Cavs are reportedly one of the teams expressing serious interest in James Harden. It was reported earlier in the day that the Cavs are discussing potentially major move before the trade deadline. Harden does have veto power on any deal as he's only under contract for this season with the player option for the upcoming summer that isn't fully guaranteed. He wants to go compete for a championship. That's per Shams Charania. Jake Fisher and Mark Stein also say that Harden is at least 1 point interested in the Wolves and Hawks at landing points as well, but neither team has expressed interest in James Harden. This is major. While James Harden is not the player that he used to be, and I don't say that to knock James Harden at all. I mean, it just comes with the territory being the age that he is. Like it comes with the territory. He's not going to be the same player at this age as what he was back like in the Rockets days. But for what it's worth, James Harden still, when he's able to operate as a heavy on-ball player, still puts up numbers. He still gets the assist numbers. He still does those type of things. The question is that does a team look at James Harden and say, this is the piece that can get us over the top, specifically the Cleveland Cavaliers? Now, we know that Darius Garland has been often injured, right? But are they willing to move off of Darius Garland to pair James Harden with Donovan Mitchell and to keep other things down there? We've also heard that Jared Allen is another player that could be moved by them as well. So we're hearing the Cavs may be a team that surprisingly is active at this trade deadline, whereas initially before, especially coming into the season, there wasn't initially that thought. Now, we did know that when the Cavs locked in their core four to all long-term deals, it was basically with saying, hey, if this does not work out, we have him, we can move him down the road, those type of things. And that's basically what we're seeing come to fruition. We could see two of the core four of the Cleveland Cavaliers move, but we'll talk about more on that in a minute. James Harden, for what it's worth this season, is still averaging 25 points per game. He's 18th in the league overall in scoring. He's averaging 4.8 rebounds and 8.1 assists. He's third in the entire league of assists per game. James Harden is still putting up numbers. Even at 36 years old, James Harden is still putting up numbers like that. He has 1 year left on his deal. The question is that a team acquiring James Harden, do they think that they have the runway for that? Now, we've heard also that trade discussions between the Cavs and the Clippers have not yet reached an advanced stage, right? But the deal in the framework that's around the rumored deal is James Harden and Darius Garland would swap teams. Some other pieces may be involved in that, and that the Clippers still could very well be, the Cavs still could very well be a destination for James Harden. Now, for what it's worth, also in this one, we have this also from Shams that he's still looking, if James Harden is moved, he does want a multi-year contract with a championship contender if he's getting into that. And so we'll see if that happens. Now, like I said, Shams did say that the Cavs right now are a team that's expressed huge interest. This from Shams. This was all made possible because Harden has a mutual option for next season at $13 million partial guarantee. And that gave both sides the ability to sit down over the last few days and see what his long-term future is in LA. He wants to be somewhere where he's going to be there for multiple years after this year. That was not promised to him in LA. He wants to compete for a championship, which is something we've heard a lot with James Harden when he went to Brooklyn. He went to Philly, and then he went again to the Clippers. So he's looking at the Cavs as potentially a better option to make it to the finals out east. One of the biggest keys here is James Harden has a no trade clause in all this. He's going to have a lot of dictation over his future at the trade deadline. So, hey, I mean, James Harden, the latest player to request a trade and want to look for a trade, and this was not expected, not to this level at all. And with the Cavs having a disappointing season per what their preseason expectations were, this has now opened up a complete and big door for the Cavs to maybe hop in there and try to get something done. But they're going to have some pressure on it because we're going to focus on the Cleveland Cavaliers side of this. We've heard that the Cleveland Cavaliers are looking to trade Lonzo Ball. They've had some early discussions with the Charlotte Hornets, where his brother LaMelo Ball does play, which is good. So they've had some early conversations in regards to that. So we'll see how that ends up going. According to that, if they end up moving Lonzo Ball, who has not played a big role for them yet. But then we get what came down this morning, and that is this. This one comes from Tim Bontemps. The Cavaliers know they are facing a huge decision this summer, 1 year before Mitchell can become a free agent in 2027 offseason. If the Cavs again exit in the first or second round, as Mitchell has it in each of his first 8 seasons, will he be willing to commit to another extension in Cleveland? That seems unlikely. No one is more aware of that than the Cavs, who have already made one deal and are clearly interested in making more between now and Thursday afternoon. From Tim Bontemps, saying that Donovan Mitchell is unlikely to sign an extension in Cleveland if they have another early playoff exit. So, I mean, this puts pressure. You know, we talk about how players can put pressure on franchises to do it. Like Giannis tried to do it with Milwaukee, right? We've seen that happen before. But as it stands right now, it looks like the Cleveland Cavaliers, who could be interested in moving off of Jared Allen to facilitate the right deal. Darius Garland's a player that they could be looking to move off to facilitate the right deal. All these things are coming down the wire here now. And so between the Lonzo Ball trade, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, where does that leave the Cleveland Cavaliers when all this is said and done and all the dust settles? That we really don't know right now, right? But reportedly as well, one of the things that are a hang-up potentially is that Darius Garland and his toe injuries are something that has long-term concerns by the Los Angeles Clippers. So there's still that. They're still waiting on that part of it as well. So it's just, at this point now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Los Angeles Clippers are a franchise that we already knew was the oldest team in the league. There's no doubt about that. And while Kawhi Leonard has been more healthy than people were expecting, and they look damn good when he is healthy, it seems like teams or players are ready to jump off that boat, figure out what's going on, and find themselves in a different situation. They're 23-26 this season. And James Harden, who wants to compete for multiple titles over multiple years, is looking at it now and saying, hey, it may be time for me to get the hell up out of here. And so we're going to see what's going to happen there. If they do move out of it, it just is what it is. Nothing else to say about it. It is what it is, and we'll see what the future holds. But this trade deadline just keeps getting more and more interesting because we were talking about guards like Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu being some of the most garnered guards on the league. If Darius Garland's available, if James Harden's available, like, what does that mean for those guys? Like, teams may want to hold on to their assets, and even if they don't move to this trade deadline, wait till the offseason. We're either going to see a flurry of moves at this trade deadline that are kind of all unexpected, or we're going to see a lot of teams hold on to their pieces and wait till the offseason. So we're going to see. But for one team out east in the Cleveland Cavaliers that are looking to be aggressive about trying to keep Donovan Mitchell there, reportedly as well, that this one comes from Brian Windhorst, is that out west, the Minnesota Timberwolves are a team that's absolutely looking to be aggressive at this trade deadline, saying this: the most aggressive team in the West right now is Minnesota Timberwolves. They are in the game for Giannis. I don't believe that their offers can outweigh in other offers. I'm not even sure that Giannis is getting traded before Thursday. The Timberwolves are being aggressive. If they don't make what I would call a Hail Mary Giannis deal, I think they are aggressively looking to upgrade their backcourt. And they have beaten the Thunder twice this year, so they certainly, are a team that would have some confidence against them. But when the Thunder are top of their game, I'm not sure you're touching them. So, the Minnesota Timberwolves now we knew that the Timberwolves had a hole at point guard. But what we've heard is that they were looking to acquire kind of more cost-effective contracts and not big contracts. If the Timberwolves are now shifting their thought process to be more aggressive at the trade deadline and add some pieces around that team, what does it mean? Like, is it going to be Kobe White from the Chicago Bulls? Is it going to be Trey Jones from the Chicago Bulls? We heard that they're interested in all three of the Bulls guards. Do they look at other places? Are they a team that's interested in? I doubt D'Angelo Russell would make any sense for them, but are they interested in Jose Alvarado, right? Those type of players. So the Timberwolves are a team that has been in the Western Conference Finals now 2 years in a row. And it makes sense that they want to do whatever it takes to finally get over that hump and get to the NBA Finals. I don't know if the deal is going to be there, if they have the runway to get that done. Of course, we've heard that, we even just heard that maybe that's a team that Harden's interested in. Could they actually pivot to James Harden and make a surprising trade? Could it be that they're waiting for Giannis? If they make a swing for Giannis and able to pair Giannis with Anthony Edwards, what does that then mean, right? So the Wolves, it makes sense for them to be very aggressive. Keep in mind, they were, a team that was hovering around the Kevin Durant trade this offseason. They ended up not getting that done, but there were some interest there. There's definitely reports of interest. So now we got to see what's going to happen with that being done. But hey, if that ends up happening and the Wolves are aggressive and go out there and try to get a player at that point guard position or whatever else to make an aggressive move, watch out, because Anthony Edwards, I said it before, he has the chance to be the best player in any series that he's in. Now, if you take that a step further and get him more help, can he actually win that series? That's a question that the Minnesota Timberwolves have to ask, and I'm sure that that team is looking at it, and that front office is saying, this is our window. Mike Conley is not it. Can we move off of Mike Conley to get some things done? We got some young pieces in Rob Dillingham that we can't wait to develop. Maybe we move him when we get something back. So the Timberwolves have assets. They have some draft. Well, they don't have any first-round picks that they can trade outright. They have pick swaps that they can offer, but no picks that they can trade outright. So that kind of limits a little bit of their forward mobility there, but we'll see what's going to happen. Let me know what you guys think down below on that one. Now, from that to another team out east, the Raptors reportedly are a serious a suitor for Domantas Sabonis, but they would have to move Jakob Poeltl first. Now, here's the thing. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. My Bulls team has been saying they're willing to be the third team in the trade. I would love for the Bulls to get Jakob Poeltl. But outside of that, right, with that said, we had heard earlier in the season that the Raptors wanted to keep Poeltl in that there if they're able to. Well, now, if they are open to moving Poeltl in a third team and then taking on the money of Domantas Sabonis, it seems like they can be a likely trade suitor to get Domantas Sabonis in there. We know that the Raptors, they have been one of the most consistent teams of hearing that they are looking to go big game hunting at the trade deadline. Now, with the Giannis rumors and all these kind of things, the Raptors have kind of gone by the sideline where we haven't heard their name a lot. They are a very young team. They're fourth in the Eastern Conference right now. They are only 1.5 games back of the second seed, right, or 2 games back now of the second seed, 7 games back of the 1 seed. I don't know if they're catch up there, but they are in that place, and the Raptors have a legitimate shot. They have young players that they can offer up if they decide to do so. They have players that they can match salary with R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel quickly. Would they be willing to move Colin Murray-Boyles if it got them a Giannis, right? I think they would be willing to do that. But with a Domantas Sabonis potential trade, it's a trade that helps them, right? It adds a forward there that can stay near the rim, those type of things. But I don't know if it's a trade that gets them over the hump per se and makes them the favorite out east. Now listen, the East is wide open. We know how the East can go in the playoffs. You can get hot at the right time. You can win the Eastern Conference. You come out the Eastern Conference and go into the finals if you're good enough and you play good enough two-way ball. So their options always there for them. But are they going to make the aggressive move to give them that little bit of extra shot in the arm? That's the question here for the Toronto Raptors, and we'll see what's going to happen there. Last topic of the day before we get out of here. The Golden State Warriors reportedly have some questions about Giannis's desire to join that team. This one comes for Jake Fisher as well, right? That says that the Warriors can build a draft around a future draft capital of their own picks to send back to the Bucks. The risk of the move becomes exponentially greater if the move forward without a clear assurances that Antetokounmpo sees the Warriors as a long-term fit. So the Golden State Warriors, they have optimism that they can trade for Giannis. They think that they can put a package together to trade for Giannis because of the value of their future picks, but they have some doubt around would Giannis sign a long-term contract to stay in Golden State? And that's the part in all of this that I admit I haven't done a good job of communicating that part of it, because that is a very big part of this whole thing. Giannis is eligible to sign a huge extension in October. And if he's not willing to sign that, it means that you're taking basically a 1.5-year flyer if you trade for him at this trade deadline, a 1.5-year flyer. Now, I think the Raptors would do that. They basically did that less than that with Kawhi, knowing Kawhi wasn't going to stay there, but hey, they got a title out of it. Would the Golden State Warriors be willing to basically say for Giannis, listen, we trade for him, we'll give up all this future capital, but we only know we're going to have you for a year and a half. Now, that fits the window that they have with Steph on a contract, Jimmy on a contract, Dre on a contract. It fits that window. So maybe they'd still be a little bit, if Giannis looks at it and says, hey, I want to go to Golden State, maybe they'll do that, but the fear of him not signing an extension there is legitimate, and we just got to see what they're going to do with it, man. But that's it for today's episode, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This trade deadline is really starting to feel a little bit different. Harden can make a move. Cleveland can make a major shift, right? The Golden State Warriors are looking for Giannis. Minnesota pushing their chips in. The Raptors looking to make a deal. There's so much up in air as we head into the trade deadline, only 2 days away. So let me ask you this. Who's going to blink first? Drop your takes in the comments down below. Make sure you guys hit that like button as well. Subscribe to the channel. If you're not, follow us at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the #1 spot for everything basketball related. And I'll catch you guys the next time I feel like making a video. Probably tomorrow. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.